All right, we are back. We have the list of finalists for the round 2, but before we go on to the second round, who would like to present LCC International University and to give you a little bit more information about the university, the opportunities that we offer, and I guess this is the time can be for our judges to take a short break as well after the round 1. All right, I will start sharing my screen. Okay, so LCC International University, it's the only North American style university in the heart of Europe. Every year we do choose sort of a, I guess, kind of a phrase that we use throughout the year, academic year. And for this year, it's international community, which strives to do more. And to tell you about the location, it's located in Lithuania, one of the Baltic states. Hopefully this map will be able to give you a clear picture of the location and the city called Klaipėda, one of the biggest cities in Lithuania, and it's located right on the Baltic shore. In fact, it's about 20 minutes of walking distance to the Baltic Sea from LCC campus and to the city center as well. Okay, well, now I want to tell you more about educational model that LCC provides to their students. And the first one you can see is North American style. An integral part of LCC's uniqueness is providing a North American style of education, but in the region of Eastern Europe. All studies are in English. Most of our professors are from the United States and Canada. We do have from Europe and Lithuanian professors as well, and they have received their higher education in North American universities as well. Besides that, interactive classrooms, attendance is a must at LCC, it's mandatory, it is part of the grade as well. And of course, engagement in the classroom and discussions are important too. Now, liberal arts. Usually our students have a hard time understanding it at the beginning when they apply and when they start their studies at LCC. So our definition of liberal arts education takes into account the quantitative diversity of the coursework, but further emphasizes the importance of student transformation. And it is, with basic terms, it's broad-based education, meaning academically and outside of the classroom as well. So our students do choose certain program major to study at LCC, but it is not only focused on that preference, but students will be able to take courses from other programs as well that are available at LCC. But besides academics, we also pay a lot of attention to our students and try to give them opportunities to develop their lifelong learning skills, soft skills, so-called, so that it will be a smoother transition for our graduates to enter adulthood life after LCC. Now, international, you can see that the name says International University, and we're truly a diverse community. At LCC, there are 57 countries represented, and 80% of our students are international. About 70 to 75% of staff and faculty are international as well. Now, Christian values and worldview, and when we explain this, I tried to do my best to share that LCC as an institution, worldview and values of LCC are based on Christianity, Christian religion. However, as I mentioned earlier, because we're international and diverse community, we welcome everyone and we tolerate each and every decision that our students make. And we don't push our students towards any religion. We do have Muslim students, Buddhist, Christians, atheists, and the list goes on, because being in hosting so many cultures and countries at the university, we do realize that they all come with various religious background and very rich background. We do tolerate everyone. But to add on top of that is most professors at LCC, they teach from Christian perspective. And there are some must-take courses for all students to take, just as an additional knowledge and to be able to understand each other better as well. We promote LCC as a university for safe place for respectful discussion for all students that choose to study at LCC. Diploma that you will get from our university is accredited in European Union. It is recognized worldwide. Doesn't matter if you want to go back to your home country or you would want to go to North America, stay in Europe, or I don't know, go to Asian countries, you will be able to use this diploma. And the last point is relational. LCC is a relational university. We believe that student transformation takes place within the context of community and within one-on-one relations. Thus, our staff and faculty, they spend enormous time to get to know each and every student, their stories, their culture, their traditions as well. And yeah, it's just a family community at LCC here. For bachelor programs, we have 6 available: International Business Administration, Contemporary Communications, English Language and Literature, International Relations and Development, Psychology, and Theology. I won't get into much of a detail for each program, but you can always visit LCC website to find out more. As I mentioned earlier, it is broad-based education, so each program that are listed on the screen do include a quite wide range of the field. So LCC website is a great place for you to find out more information. For masters, although it might be a bit early for you to think about it, but to mention 2 programs, we offer International Management and TESOL, Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, and both of these programs are online distance learning. Okay, full student campus. I will be able to show you more detailed pictures of LCC campus. And you can see it's not a big campus. We are a small university, about 800 students. And this campus so far is able to host that number. The first center, this is the main building, or the classes and classrooms are located in this building. Actually, right now, the judges, some of the judges, and me as well, we are in this building, administrative offices, professors, library, everything is in here. Now community and everyday living and learning. You can see on the picture, this is the dormitories, or I like to call them housing apartments, and you'll see why. This is how they look from the inside. So basically there are 2 bedrooms in each housing apartment. There is a little entrance area, kitchen, and bathroom available in each housing apartment. The kitchen as well on each floor, if you would like to cook your own meals. And because we host international students with various traditional foods that they like to cook, it's always great to have a kitchen to be able to make those happen. And also kitchen, on this picture you can't see, but it's a little bit bigger as well for different event, on-floor events and just gatherings together. Michelson Centers, now if you don't like to cook or you don't know how to cook, there is a cafeteria available on campus as well. The prices are great, the meals are tasty, and a lot of our students and staff and faculty as well use that cafeteria, and is located in this building called Michelson. Besides cafeteria, there is also gym available for everyone at LCC. As you can see, we do have professional basketball court as well. LCC has 2 professional basketball teams, female and male. If you have been thinking about basketball and would want to try out, you're more than welcome. Besides classroom and academic studies, student life is a completely separate department at LCC, all created to help to our students with their life outside of classroom, and to assimilate and integrate into this new place and new community and new people. There are more than 20 clubs available on campus, and they're all created and run by LCC students. And the range of clubs starts everything from language and eco club, ending with even TikTok. This year we've had a TikTok club. If you end up at LCC and you want to create your own club, you're more than welcome. You can consult student council at LCC, and they will be happy to help you. As you can see, there are 9 leadership programs available, obviously annual student-led initiatives and events. And of course, since we do have sports team, there are sports events happening every month or 2. Besides basketball, I would like to mention that we do have a soccer team as well. They are on a semi-professional level at the moment. Exchange programs. LCC students can take part in 2 programs. Erasmus Plus is within European Union. There are several of universities that we partner with, so you will be able to go there as an exchange for 1 semester, sometimes even possible for 2. International exchange with 5 countries: China, Georgia, Indonesia, South Korea, and United States, again for 1 semester as an exchange student. And of course, because our students go to those universities, we're able to host students from them as well at LCC. Work and career, there are on-campus and off-campus opportunities available for LCC students. Depending on what kind of position it is, it might be required to know Lithuanian language, but now as the times goes, there are more and more opportunities if you know Russian, English languages. Of course, there is a work and travel, United States, because at LCC summer vacation is from beginning of May till end of August, 4 months. There are no studies. It's given for our students to rest, but also to be able to work and invest in their education. So work and travel is a program that we send our students to work and travel, as the name says, to United States. And a lot of our students do take that opportunity. Besides that, there are also paid internship opportunities online from a distance, but also here in Klaipėda city. Application for bachelor's. We have 2 intake. Fall intake is the biggest one. The earlier application deadline already passed, but we do accept applications up until mid-May. So if you are in the last year of your school, high school, and you're thinking about university, you're more than welcome to apply to LCC. The application is free of charge. For spring intake, you can see the deadlines on the screen as well. If you want to take a little break after studies in high school, that's great as well. You can start studies from spring. For MA, it's only 1 August intake. It's again up until mid-May. Now, how to apply. Application process is fairly easy. This is for bachelor level studies. You fill out an online application through lcc.lt website. You would be asked to submit and attach required documents, such as English proficiency test results, TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. We are accepting Duolingo due to pandemic. It is online, you can take it from home. Your high school grades for the last 3 years. And once you submit those documents, you would be asked to participate in an online interview with admissions committee. And the last one, depending from which country and what kind of high school education you have received, there might be specific requirements that you will be asked to submit to LCC. Tuition fees for next academic year are for bachelor's 3,360 euros for one academic year. Prime tuition is 1,680. You might be wondering, what is prime? It is prerequisite intensive module of English. So earlier when I was mentioning about English proficiency test requirements, the scores that you can see on your screen right now are for bachelor levels. And let's say that you take the test and it's a little bit lower than the requirement. Please don't get discouraged. You can still apply and maybe qualify for prime. Basically, it's prime, it's an intensive English semester or even 2 semesters, depending on your progress, kind of to prepare your academic English for bachelor level studies. And to live in the residence hall, it's about 120 euros per month. The payment, tuition, and housing payment is done by semesters at LCC, so fall and spring semester. We do provide financial aid. There are several types of financial aid available. More than 60% that apply, they do receive an average tuition discount that students get is about 58%. At LCC, students have to reapply for financial aid annually. We do understand that the financial situation for each student and their families might change year to year, so we do require a new application. But yeah, all students are eligible to apply. You can do your financial aid application and admissions application at the same time. And the earlier you apply, the earlier you'll get your decision about admissions and about discount as well. Okay, if you don't want to study at LCC and commit for 4 years, you can choose 1 semester or even 1 full year to study at LCC for academic credits, or just, I guess, take part in summer internship and volunteering positions. We have different projects and camps running throughout summer at LCC. And of course, one of the famous programs would be Summer Language Institute, so-called SLI. It's a 3 weeks intensive English program for everyone who would like to. I believe it's from 9th grade and above, and there is no limit to age. We do invite our teachers for SLI from North America to fly into Lithuania and teach in those 3 weeks. Okay, well, if any information that I was giving you right now sparked an interest in you to study at LCC, you can scan the QR code right now, or just save the LCC email, study@lcc.lt, and email us any questions you have. If you don't want that, you can always visit LCC website. All the information is available. I would highly encourage you to take a look, and if you are thinking of the university right now, would be great time for you to, I guess, get more information, get in touch with us. I work in admissions office, and I will be happy to support and answer any questions you have. So that's it, and I guess we can move on to the round 2. And before we do that, I am going to announce our finalists for the round 2. Okay. 1 second. Okay, our finalists from Heat A are Nare Bagratunan, Elizabeth Vertadze, Albert Aritunov, and from Heat B are Arpine Yanuns, I'm real sorry. I hope I pronounce your names correctly. Nani Gogadze and Emily Kotelia. Well done, guys. And everyone, it was a great pleasure to hear your speeches and to be able to spend this time together. I highly encourage everyone, even if you didn't make it to the round 2, to stay here, to listen to your colleagues, and you will be able to ask questions as well, if you will have any. And well done to our finalists. And I guess we can move on to the round 2 officially. Okay, it will be a random order that we will be asking our speakers to present. And the structure is exactly the same. You will have 5 minutes, you will present your speech once again. And after each speech, judges will be able to ask questions. Okay, and our first speaker would be Emily Kotelia, but due to some personal situation, we are gonna show her recorded speech. I will be able to do that in a second.
Have you ever pictured a life where you're not able to express your opinion through words? I personally cannot stand the thought of it. What about you? I'm pretty sure most of you agree with me, and if you do, then imagine this. You're a child at a confectionery store and you really want some gummy bears. But your mom is buying you some, let's say, gummy worms. And you cannot stop her because you don't know how to speak. And your mom won't take a hint, no matter how hard you try. Pretty ironic, I know, but there's no better way to explain how the world would feel without the words. Even back in time when cavemen couldn't say, "This is my meat, don't touch it," they would start fighting until one of them passed out on the ground. I have to confess here, I do get aggressive when somebody touches my foot as well. But I simply throw a tantrum without hitting anybody, so yeah. Let's get back to the point. There are a lot of examples showing the importance of languages and miscommunication. For instance, the Tower of Babel. At the beginning of the story, people of Babel spoke one language, and that one single thing, understanding each other, united them and created a strong and unstoppable force. Human people became skilled in constructing and decided to build a city with a tower leading to heaven in it. God suddenly caused them to speak different languages, and it prevented them from working together and achieving their goal of building that tower. It's not only example in the human history showing how miscommunication can ruin things. Another example is the Charge of the Light Bridge, which took place in 1855 between Russian and British people due to some miscommunication in the chain of command. No, historical accounts say that nobody really knows who gave what orders, but the fact is that innocent people's lives were taken during this conflict and nobody was made accountable for it. It's not only in the past that languages were important. In my opinion, honestly, nowadays it has even more value. We don't give it much thought when we speak to foreign people and make friends with them, which was not quite possible in the past. Understanding somebody's language allows us to understand their culture better, and as a result, it will lead to less conflicts and misunderstandings between people. Yeah, and one example, misunderstandings and conflicts between people might not be so important for you, but what about those global issues between big political figures, countries and authorities? Can you imagine how the World Summit would go without interpreters being present? It would cause a great chaos and the world would not be developed to the point it is now. While we're at it, do you know what the key to solving a conflict is? Maybe some of you guessed it right. Yes, it's communication. And what does communication consist of? Right, understanding each other, which is not quite possible with the people of other nations without speaking their language. Those beautifully curved alphabets, later on turning into words, those words turning into sentences containing our deep thoughts and emotions. And when we pass those emotions to other people and get the feedback from them, that's what's communication and the beauty of it. I could speak about the beauty of communication and understanding a foreign language for hours, but sadly, we have a time limit. So let's conclude everything we spoke about. The role of understanding a foreign language in solving small conflicts between people alongside with solving those global issues has always been, is, and will always be replaceable. We really need to understand the importance of it, the power it holds, and always use it wisely. If not, we don't know what kind of harm we can cause with this power.
Okay. All right. So that was Emily Kutela from Georgia. And I believe Emily is here and she will be able to answer any questions if judges will have any over the chat. Let me see if we have any questions. Okay, Emily says she's right here, ready to answer. Kirilo, Mash, or Kate, do you have anything to ask?
I think we have me and Kirill, we already asked our questions during the first round. So yeah, at this moment, at least me, I don't have a question for Emily.
I have a big question. So Emily, I'm wondering, why is this topic important to you? It might take a while to answer and type that in, but I'm just curious from how you're speaking. Why is it important to you?
Okay, let's give Emily a bit of time to type that in. I guess that is a long answer.
Actually, don't you think that would be great if all the participants turn their cameras on?
Yeah, if they feel comfortable too, sure. We are though with the speaker view, so whoever speak will be invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily has written, I personally am not fully Georgian, so it was hard to adapt from Russian. Does that answer your question, Kate? From the Russian, sort of. Okay. Okay, it's very unusual to get the answers from the chat, but thank you anyways, Emily. And yeah, great that you were able to be here with us and answer the questions, even with your situation currently. We do need to move on to our next speaker, and she is from Georgia. Just I had to look for a second. Elizabeth Verzadze. Elizabeth?
Yes.
Go
So
ahead.
I'll start. So the title of my speech is Effective Negotiation Makes Life More Peaceful. So conflict is a part of life, regardless of age, and reasons why this is true vary widely. Conflict arises from differences, and it occurs when people disagree over their motivations, desires, perceptions, or ideas. Being a good friend and a community member means avoiding and constructively resolving conflicts. The key to resolution is negotiation and communication. So what skills are needed for effective negotiation and communication? Listening, sharing ideas, even asking questions. So these are crucial skills for building trust and strengthening relationships. For understanding each other, we need to speak the same language. I want to use Nelson Mandela's quote here. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to a man in his own language, that goes to his heart. These beautiful words from this such an inspirational person have inspired me to start studying languages. Knowing the language raises respect for other people. And also when I travel a lot, and I always try to memorize things in the languages they speak. And besides, it makes me beyond happy when some foreign tourists try to ask me things in my native language. So happy people are positive people, and positive people always try to smooth conflict and resolve them better. Moreover, there can be some situations where just knowing some words isn't going to solve it, but it does not mean it is unable to settle it. Someone needs to find the clue. The clue is negotiation. And for negotiating effectively, we need to have a conversation in a verbal or a written way. So for having a conversation, it is better to know the language they speak. Having a conversation helps to understand their ideas and complaints better. Having a conversation also means the opportunity to share ideas, desires, feelings, and messages with one another. So for starting an effective dialogue, you need to use the language they understand. It means that you should become proficient, as it will increase the ability to use the correct words, idioms, and slangs for the people who are listening to you. So all of these that I mentioned before now will help to find a solution. But I want to mention that not only telling the message is important, but also listening is really vital. By improving listening skills, it will be easier to understand the perspectives and emotions better. Listening and hearing requires a strong knowledge of a language. Some people even underestimate listening skills. So in some languages, as everyone knows, writing and reading can be completely different. So if the pronunciation of the words are not studied, understanding each other will be hard. So misunderstanding deepens the conflict and it becomes harder to solve. Furthermore, if there is no trust, conflict cannot be resolved. Understanding builds trust. Not lying and discussing even painful truth are essential parts for trusting each other. High truthfulness is essential to working through conflict and helping both sides solve peacefully without any further consequences. Improving language skills provide new vocabulary and the opportunity and ability to understand others. It deepens feelings that are important for building, deepens feelings that are important for building trust. So, in conclusion, speaking the same language develops effective communication that is important for solving conflict. Good knowledge of the language promotes interaction and it deepens the ways to connect with people. Honestly, understanding develops and holds relationships. Trust is main base for effective communication and negotiation, as I already mentioned. And all of this is easily achievable when speaking one language, and every this thing alleviates the conflict. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. And your time was 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Right, now we can move on to questions from judges.
Thank you for the great speech, Elizabeth. I particularly like the fact that you brought up the idea of listening, not only speaking, which is so important in the world we're living right now because everyone simply tries to speak and speak. So my question is following, what is more essential for you in the conflict, either listening or speaking, or you try to mix them up altogether?
Yeah, actually, I think they are both equally important, because the fact that people underestimate listening skills doesn't mean that speaking is any less important. Because if you are not able to just like say everything that you want to say without causing any consequences, you need to speak clearly and make others, foreigners probably, understand you, so there are no misunderstandings and conflicts. But the other thing is that if someone tells you something in non-offensive way, but like your listening skills are not that good and you hear it as something offensive, it might just like cause, not only deepen but also cause the conflict. So I think both are equally important. Thank you.
Thank you for the great answer.
Okay, that was a great question. Do we have any other questions? Not only from judges, but also from other listeners. Okay, I'm guessing the silence is no. Then we can move on to our next speaker. And our next speaker is from Armenia, Arpine Yanuns. Arpine? Okay, let me see if we have the participant in our list. Arpine, are we here? Are we ready to present?
I'm guessing that the electricity is gone in the university because in Klaipėda it's such strong winds, and I'm guessing it's because of that. Arpine, if you are here. Okay. Okay, maybe, is there anyone else here that is present? And if you turn on your cameras, maybe we can see who is ready to present before the rest comes, or maybe we can take a break and then join, and I will figure out what is happening.
I can present.
Okay, if you give me a second, I will.
Okay,
Okay,
we are
good.
back. Can you hear us well?
Yeah.
Right. The lighting, the internet, everything was off at the university. I do apologize for that. Okay, where we were, I believe I have invited Arpine Yanuns to make the presentation.
Yep, but seems like she's missing. Maybe she's taking a break or something. Did she know that it's her turn?
Well, we said it's going to be random. Then let's see if Nadia Bagratunan is here.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, Nadia.
Perfecting your knowledge of language, resolving and understanding disputes. You cannot shake hands with clenched fists, but being the first one to unclench our fist, being open to resolve the argument no matter how big it is,
is what we need to learn. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the handling of conflict by peaceful means. It is a desirable condition, but conflicts are inevitable. They may occur in all areas of human life, from organizational to social, and from territorial to political. They can exist within the same country or be international. As the effects of conflict can sometimes be devastating and destructive, all the parties involved in the conflict and those affected by it must take immediate measures to resolve it. Generally, conflict resolution is the process involving the identification of the root cause of the problem by bringing all the parties involved to address the underlying issues. There are several methods for resolving a conflict where the use of languages is crucial and significantly inevitable. Those are negotiation, mediation, adjudication. When a dispute arises, often the best course of action is negotiation. There are several steps that will grant you to successfully negotiate and resolve the growing misunderstandings. The first one is to understand the conflict. Conflicts arise for a variety of different reasons. It is important for both sides to fully grasp and define clearly their own interests and positions in the conflict. And for that, you need to ask yourself, what are my interests? What are my concerns, hopes, and fears? What do I want or need? By doing so, you calm yourself and think rather rationally than you did before. But never forget to look from all the perspectives. Ask yourself the same question by putting yourself in your opponent's shoes. Communication is the foundation of all kinds of relationships among humans. It is impossible for humans to survive without it. In the context of conflict resolution, also non-communication can contribute or lead to a conflict. Moreover, a wrong interpretation of messages, or in other words, miscommunication, can have the same effect. Hence, to prevent or resolve a conflict, both parties involved need to master the essential language skills necessary for effective and accurate communication, namely productive skills, that is listening and reading, and receptive ones, that is speaking and writing. In this context, communication between conflicting parties is crucial. There is an incident in the international political history called "We Will Bury You." It refers to an event taken place during Nikita Khrushchev's speech to the Western ambassadors at the Polish embassy in Moscow. The precise words that he said were, "Whether you like it or not, history is on our side. We will attend your funeral." Now, granted, it is arguably a rather passive-aggressive version of "we will bury you," but the keyword there is passive. So the mistranslation of Nikita Khrushchev's words heightened the Cold War tension at that time. In situations like this, where the conflict is international and the parties speak different languages, the significance of accurate and effective communication is doubled. In any kind of international communication, direct or interpreted, the communicators must have a high level of mastery of the foreign languages used in order to receive and convey messages with high accuracy. But after all, the international human language will always be empathy. Language is the blood of the soul into which thoughts run and out of which they grow. And war is a symptom of man's failure as a thinking animal. We were given the divine gift of thinking, so it should be our responsibility to think one more time for a better or safer way to solution, to our salvation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Nada. And your time was 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And we can move on to questions.
If I may go first.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Nana. It was very interesting to listen to you, and I agree with the all solutions that you have mentioned in your speech in order to solve the problem. And I would love to ask whether you had a situation in real life and like such as conflict, and if you ever use those one of those skills or solutions in order to solve the problem.
Thank you for that.
It might be with a foreigner or an Armenian.
Mhm. I haven't had a conflict with a foreigner. That's good, but of course, I think everyone had a conflict, like a situation like that in their life, and of course, I had one too. And it was when I was, I think, in fifth grade. It was like a big conflict, and yes, I remained calm and ask myself if it is worth it if I speak or if the violence is used in the conflict. And yes, I use those methods, and now I'm learning even more of those methods to use them in my life, in my daily life. So yeah, that's the situation.
Okay, thank you.
Me too.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the very profound speech. And I was really surprised with the fact that you gave an example of Nikita Khrushchev's saying and the mishap which it caused. And my question is the following: how did you come across it? And what do you think is the way to avoid these kinds of misunderstandings in the geopolitics and in the everyday life simply?
Well, I'm very interested in history, so it was during a class, and my teacher told me about it, and I was very interested and searched many other miscommunications in the political history, and I came across very hilarious things other than the mishap. But I think that the main thing is to find a good interpreter, because there was also this incident where in 1830, where the French and American wanted to negotiate, and the French sent the list of things they wanted to ask Americans, and they said les gouvernements français demandaient, but it means like the French government asks but doesn't demand, and the interpreter translated it into the French government demanded, so it had like it was a very big mistranslation, and I think the most important thing is to have a good interpreter, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that was a great answer to a great question. Okay, well, looking at the time, we need to move on to our next speaker. And as I have gotten in touch with Arpine, who is ready to present now, and it's from Armenia. Arpine, go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I want to express my great appreciation for having me in this round. So now I can start delivering my speech. Bonjour, hola, здравствуйте, ni hao, salve. Is it enough to just know how to greet people in different languages? Let's imagine a situation where you are in a room with people from 5 different countries. You don't know any of the languages they speak. How are you going to communicate with them? What if you have some business or study to do with them? When I'm trying to answer these questions, I realize how the knowledge of a foreign language has enormous importance to me. Even if I'm going to use a body language as a means of communication, it should somehow be synchronized with other people's body languages. Therefore, sometimes even body language could be foreign and serve as a subject of learning. After all, why am I afraid of learning? Isn't it fun? I like fun. Let's have mutual fun learning each other's languages and not overthink about how to express abnegation using our body languages. Faisons connaissance. I guess many of you didn't even understand what I have just said. Probably now you have feelings of confusion and discomfort. Frankly speaking, I had the same feelings when I appeared in a room with a person whose native language was French. For a long time, I was just staring at the walls without even realizing how to express my ideas to be understood. She didn't know Armenian, I didn't know French, which led to a both funny and awkward situation. Funny is good, but awkwardness should somehow be resolved, and it is as simple as learning a language that you both understand. Actually, we found a way to communicate with each other, which was Google Translate. But let's be honest, it's not the most reliable resource to escape misunderstandings, right? First of all, isn't it interesting that human brain is capable of learning many languages at the same time? If it seems impossible to you, take a look at some celebrities like Christopher Lee, who speaks 8 languages, and Monica Bellucci, who speaks 4 languages. Has this knowledge helped them to gain the fame they have? Or the fame has forced them to learn these languages? No one can give the exact answer to this question. But the obvious thing is that there is a strong relationship between being successful and having the knowledge of multiple languages. I can surely say that I have at least once thought about being an engaging debater. Absolutely everyone can achieve the point where they amaze people with their communication skills by just learning languages. This is because not only does it help people to find new jobs and travel to foreign countries, but also to gain new perspectives about life. How does this work? Everything is as simple as commenting on your friend's new posts on Instagram. By learning languages, you are given a chance to meet new people, to get acquainted with diverse cultures, and introduce your culture to foreigners too. In a nutshell, numerous success stories that include some grueling periods of learning languages must be implemented for everyone to leave their comfort zones and start acting. A new way of thinking, traveling around the globe, new friends, new opportunities, and the life most of us dream about before sleeping. This is only the tiny part of what you will get by just providing some time to learn languages. Thank you.
Okay, Arpana, thank you. And your time was 4 minutes. And we can move on to questions.
I was interested to hear that you're saying success has a strong connection or correlation to being multilingual or knowing more than one language. I'm curious, where did you come across this information, fact?
Actually, yes, because last year I failed to have place in the last year's public speaking competition organized by LCC. And after that, I started to improve my English skills. And due to it, I had a chance to participate in the lecture series also organized by LCC. So my knowledge of English and improving it helped me to have a chance to participate in such lectures and improve myself, my personality, and mature as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. So it was from your personal experience that you noticed that knowing more languages helps you be more successful.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Understood.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions? Maybe from our other listeners? If not, then we can move on to our next speaker. And that would be Nani Gogadze from Georgia.
I would correct you, Godadze.
Godadze. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. Go ahead.
So, my name is Nani, and I will start. So, Sveki, merhaba, hello. I greet you in 3 different languages at this moment and take the first step in our relationship. Psychologists say greeting has the greatest impact on people, and almost everything starts from here. In Georgia, we welcome Kamarjoba, which if we think about it means victory. And what can these 2 words have in common with hello and a victory? Human is a social animal. We need relationships, which is why each of our hello is a prerequisite for a new relationship and will bring great victory to us. The 21st century is the era of globalization, which is why we also have to deal with foreigners. Knowledge of the language is recommended for positive communication with them, and good relations with foreign friends are useful for our own development. For example, it's a proven fact that speaking the language to the locals while traveling is much more beneficial for us. They realize that we value their culture. But I think in order to better understand the importance of mastering languages and interacting with people, we have to find the beginnings. How did millions, billions of people speak different languages? What caused it? As always, Bible has the answers. And the whole earth of one language and of one speech, the Tower of Babel narrative in Genesis, chapter 11, verses 1 through 9, is an order meant to explain why the world's people speak different languages. According to the story, uniting human race in the generations following the Great Flood, speaking a single language and migrating eastward, come to the land of Shinar. There, they agreed to build a city and a tower tall enough to reach heaven. God up there in the city and tower confound their speech so they can no longer understand each other and scatter them around the world. As you can see, when people spoke the same language and understood each other, conflict situations were reduced to a minimum. They worked so corporate they could build a tower that reached heaven. Crazy. This is why learning foreign languages will help us avoid misunderstandings. For example, imagine a situation where builders spoke different languages during construction. I don't think this construction will be finished, but one builder needs a brick to build a wall and tells another builder to bring a brick, but the other doesn't understand and thinks he needs water. When he brings water, the first builder gets angry and scolds him. It's normal, I think, but the second builder will only notice rough tone, and therefore a conflict will start between them. They may never, I'm saying, never understand why they're fighting, but they will continue it. Maybe this example is too primitive, but I try to show that it's necessary to learn foreign languages in order to understand more people. This Bible story also imposes that people are more productive when they're speaking the same language. But in addition, as I have already mentioned, in the age of globalization, in order for people to unite and build world peace, it's necessary to know each other's language. So today, if you start learning a foreign language, know that you're taking another step towards globalization. We had a great educator in Georgia, Yakov Gogevashvili. He is famous for his master compiled children's primer, mother language. We call it Dedaina, which is a modified form started today at a textbook in Georgian schools. As you can see, he had a close relationship with language. He said that language is a mirror of the nature. The roots must be preserved and nurtured. Language is the best way to get to know people and understand their values and views. He believed that language learning was not only a means of superficial communication, but also the beginning of deep relationships. That's why by mastering languages, we can not only speak to each other, but also, important, understand each other. Finding a common language means less conflict and path to peace. Finally, it must be said that learning foreign languages help us not only professionally and to get to know the world, but also build relationships. I think when people understand each other and know each other's culture, the chances of conflicts are less. This is why learning foreign languages help us to eliminate the origins of conflict. And that's why I want to say that mastering foreign languages is the only way to solve the problem of the Tower of Babel. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you, Nani. And your time was 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Do we have questions from judges?
I do. First of all, you said, I didn't catch at the end, what does learning a language help eliminate?
Mastering foreign languages helps eliminate conflicts. And I'm saying that that's the only way to solve the problem of the Tower of Babel. So yeah.
Okay. And then earlier you said that mastering a foreign language is another step to globalization. So I was just curious, what do you think? Is globalization a good or a bad thing?
I think, like, I'm personally thinking it's a great thing, because I like the idea of globalization. Maybe politically and economically, it won't be that great, because we had kind of tryouts of globalization like Soviet Union and things like that. But the idea of globalization is great. And it doesn't have to be like a merge of countries. It can be just merge of people. And we just like nations don't have to be really in big disagreement with each other. So if I'm maybe Georgian and someone is Russian, we don't have to fight for our nations. Like it has to be peace. And I think that's idea of globalization is not just one full country. I think it's just one full nation. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, that was a great answer. Do we have any more questions to Nani? Okay, then we move on to our last but not least presenter from Armenia, Albert Arutyunov.
Hello everyone again, and I want to start my speaking.
Go ahead.
Basis of success, language masters. Human society is a complex system, so there are varying views and opinions in regards to the concept of conflict and conflict resolution. Several other factors play contributory roles to conflict as well as its resolution. In today's speech, I'm going to speak about the monumental importance of learning new languages. Mastering a new language is something the vast majority of us exercise throughout life. I was born in a bilingual family, hence I now have full command of these two languages as well. But back then, I couldn't imagine myself speaking about solving conflicts using knowledge of different languages. Today, I speak 4 different languages, and I am genuinely interested in acquiring a new one. However, English retains its status of my favorite. There are several reasons why English is a language we're struggling for. First thing first, it's an international lingua franca. No matter where and when you are, you can get what you want if you speak English. And secondly, as I see myself as an engineer in future, I can't imagine my future career without knowing at least a couple of foreign languages, which would grant me the opportunity to communicate with other specialists of that domain. One thing is for sure, while learning the English language, I faced many challenges and luckily could overcome them. But how can a language help you solve a conflict? The puissance of languages is very gargantuan. Language and communication are 2 sides of a coin. Language is the cornerstone of human communication as it is used for a humongous range of activities on a day-to-day basis. Diving some deeper into the essence of languages, it becomes pretty perceptible that it is a system of signs and symbols through which a speech community executes communication. Language has a strong link with culture as well, as the existence of culture is dependent on the ability of people to create and understand symbols. The shared information is only meaningful when the receiving party can decode the message sent. A wrong interpretation of the code can beleaguer the sides with destructive conflicts, which in their own turn can result in a war if not well managed. The use to which language is deployed is the reason of peace or war in a community. Languages differ from society to society, gender, class, religion. And the language of male and female can also differ for similar issues. To prevent conflict, we should at least master the medium of the language we are speaking. Mastering the medium requires the possession of essential language skills. The difference between an effective and an ineffective speaker lies in the mastery of these skills. And only effective communicator can resolve conflict in a community. Now, famous people got to be very careful in their speeches because mass media can interpret every word like they want, and that will become a worldwide scandal. To prevent this, famous people often use the help of language masters, and anomalies and contradictions across languages can be safely overlooked. They become relevant only when conflict resolution is attempted across paradigms, which is increasingly the case in multicultural societies and contemporary international affairs. In definitive, it is evident that language is the only asset which people could utilize in order to establish an unbreakable tie between nations and to overcome the nuisances in the form of nationalism and sometimes even chauvinism. That's it.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Albert. And your time was 4 minutes, just exactly as the last time. Well done. Okay, we can move on to questions now.
Congratulations on a great speech, Albert.
Thank you.
And I was really impressed with the fact that you know 4 languages already. And I want to ask somewhat personal question to you, whether knowing 4 languages anyhow helped you throughout your life to be a better problem solver.
Yes, of course. I have friends in different countries where which language I know. For example, I have many German friends, and it is easy to communicate with them. And you already know that the news is different in different countries. And if you think that this news is like fake, you can contact them in their own language and understand the news they show to them. I think that's
a great point. Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
All right. Are there any more questions for Albert?
No questions. Just again, like I am wondering how those people choose topics. Like it's just one topic, but each of them specified it in a different way, and that is I don't know. I'm glad to hear those topics and speeches. Great, good job, everyone.
Okay, thank you much for the comment. And I guess this is it. Thank you, Albert, once again. Well done.
Thank you too.
All right, well, we will be moving on to make the decision. And our judges will now have a breakout room to join and make their decision about the winners from this competition. Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll sort out the judges, and then we have a few things to watch while we wait for judges to make the decision. And I am going to share my screen. Okay, let's see.
Hi, hello, welcome to LCC International University. I'm Anano from Georgia. I'm a senior student studying communications, and I'll be giving you a tour of the building and showing some of the most essential places in the building. So first, let's start with the classroom, because that's where most of the things happen for the students. And now, as you can see, it's kind of empty, but usually it's full of students, and a lot of interesting discussions take place in the classrooms. I'll be moving on to the reception. If you have any questions, if you forgot like in which classroom your class takes place, or if you're wondering if the class is cancelled or anything basically of that sort, you can always ask at the reception, and they will be happy to answer your questions. That's a place where a lot of students gather and just talk to each other and kind of pass their time. Another place where students usually hang out is the lounge behind me. And when students have classes, when students have breaks, sorry, between the classes, that's where they usually sit to just like chat and maybe get ready for a quiz, just scroll Instagram, anything, basically just to pass their time before the class. And oh, by the way, if you want to organize anything, maybe start a club, make an event, anything that you want to contribute to the LCC community, you can always come to student council and talk to the members, and they will do their best to help you figure things out. Now we're going to another student lounge. I actually like this one better because it's bigger and it has tables, so if you want to work on any of your papers and you have like a longer break between the classes, you can always do that. And oh, by the way, this is a very famous mirror. Like all of us have taken a selfie, a lot of them, yeah. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. That's all there is to say. And if you don't have your lunch with you and you have a longer break, you can always grab a snack. Not right now, so not always, because now it's empty, but in general, you want a snack, you can get it here. So now, if you also want to talk to your professors, if you have any questions regarding your paper, if you're not happy with your, grade, anything, you can always come here. Now we're going where, and I'll show you. Here are some of the offices of the professors. That's where they usually have lunch or just hang out, talk to each other. I was wondering if Andrew Jones was here, but he's not, and I have some questions about my thesis. Anyway, if you also have some questions about your paper, and if you're kind of not sure about your writing skills or anything, you can always come to Student Success Center. Okay, the stairs are killing me. But anyway, you can always come to Student Success Center. They have very competent, very, very helpful students working in the center, and they're always like more than happy to help you. Let's go in there. Let's see if anyone's there. Math also, not just writing. So, hi. So this is Student Success Center. Usually it also has a lot of people in here, but not right now. So basically, that was it. There are way more places and way more rooms in the building, but I just don't have time to show you everything because I also have my thesis to work on. But I hope you guys enjoyed the tour, and I hope it makes you want to come to LCC a bit more than you did. I don't know. Anyway, thanks.
Okay, well, let's see if there are other videos already uploaded. And this one is going to be about residence halls that I was telling you about earlier.
Oh, hello. I was waiting for you actually. So, my name is Dima. I'm sophomore here at LCC. I'm studying international relations, and welcome to Anne's dormitory. Welcome to my room. So basically all of the rooms in Anne's dorm are designed for 4 people. This is 6 people's room, and right now I'm living on 2-person side, and basically this is my room. And you got lucky enough because this is the cleanest my room has ever been, so good job on that. I got lucky enough because I got my bottom bunk bed, which is actually so good because after classes I just can go here and relax and don't have to go up. And also in this room we have 2 similar desks for 2 students who live here with a lot of shelves, so you can put a lot of your stuff here, books, notebooks, everything that you need. We have drawers here. Also we have outlets, so you can charge your laptop, iPhone, whatever you want. And in addition to that we have 2 drawers, 2 wardrobes, so you can put all your clothes here, which is very useful. You can put your winter jackets, your shoes, everything, so it's very, very useful. Right now let's move to the common common space. So this is a common space, and every room in the LCC dorm has common space with a shower and with toilet. Also we have sinks here, and we have a fridge and additional space for your winter jackets or winter boots, whatever you want to put here. And right now let's move to the floor kitchen. So every dorm in LCC has its own kitchen on the floor, and every kitchen has its own theme. So my floor theme is Avengers. So we have decorations for the Avengers, and here we have information desk where you can find all of the information about the events which are happening on campus and so on. So welcome to LCC floor kitchen. This kitchen is actually very big because in ends on the floor there are more people living, and we have basically everything here. We have ovens, we have stoves, we have microwave. Also we have additional drawers here for students, so if you want to put your stuff here, you can get your personal keys, so no worries that something might be lost. And right now let's move to my favorite zone of the kitchen. It is a lounge for students. So basically you can just gather all together with your friends, you can play games, hang out together. As a freshman I lived in ENS as well, and this was my favorite place with my fellow students because we used to hang out here, play games, do homework together. Also we used to cook together, and this is basically a very nice space to socialize and get to know what's going on campus and just live your best student life. So yeah, this is the tour around the halls and around the dormitory. So thank you very much, and I hope I'll see you in September.
All right, so that was a short video and presentation about the living space on campus for international students. And I'm going to now show you the Michelson Center, which earlier you have seen that it has different facilities available for LCC students, and to be honest, for staff and faculty as well.
Hi, I'm Leia Gsteite, and I'm the LCC Moose basketball manager here at LCC International University, and I'm here today to show you Michelson Center. Follow me. Here you have the general area of Michelson Center. Over here kids come and take classes of karate and general events happen. Over here you will find our cafeteria where staff and faculty come to eat, as well as students of LCC and outside of LCC. This is where you'll also find the Center of International Education Offices, where students will be able to study all around the world. And if you follow me over in this direction, you will see our wall of fame, in which all our current basketball players and team are hung up on this wall.
Hey guys, my name is Gleb Kovansev and I'm an LCC Moose basketball player, and today I'm going to show you our weight room, where we basically start our practices, where we finish them, and where we work out during our work days, where we improve ourselves. So let's come in. So here literally we can do everything, but basically as for basketball players the main thing for us is just to improve our back, our abs. So we're working out on everything. Basically we can go and so I'm going to show you a little bit. So there is a bench press where you can just lift, where you can do different exercises on your chest. Here is a lot of different weights, like dumbbells, so we work out here as well. And we finish up practices with those cartwheels basically every time, because we need to come and do different stretch exercises, so we do yoga exercises just to stretch a little bit.
Hey, I'm Mulundi Simuga, and I'm going to show you the LCC gym facility. Come in. Okay. Go. As you can see, we're having a kids basketball camp that has been going on for 3 weeks now. So volunteering basketball camp. This is our big PVC, like also for the fans, we have stairs you can come down. And then all the LCC fans and local fans come here to watch the games. Like the atmosphere is really good out here. It's so fantastic. This is our gym. This is all we have now. It's the best in Clyde.
All right, well, we have only one more video left, and then we'll be able to, I guess, announce the winners of this competition.
The world is open and full of adventure, connected by hundreds of cultures and beliefs, fueled by the curiosity of young minds, and shaped by leaders brave enough to explore new ways of thinking and living. People who creatively solve problems and continuously reinvent themselves. We gather from around the world to live and study together. Our community forges friendships that last a lifetime and make the entire world feel like home. This is a place where motivation meets opportunity. Opportunity to live and study among different cultures of Europe, America, Asia, and beyond. Where curious minds learn how to solve problems creatively. Where we learn how to become a professional for a lifetime. A professional who is able to shift and adapt to the ever-changing reality of tomorrow. We are LCC, a North American university in the heart of Europe, full of opportunities and adventure, a place to start. Take a brave step into the world. Join LCC International University.
Okay, well, that was our last sort of video for the break. Yeah, this video and the previous ones, all of them, they were shot at LCC and by our facilities available here. Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that a lot of people on that video, like I do recognize them. Either I've studied with them or I've seen them here on campus while working at LCC. It's always great to see the faces, familiar faces of LCC. Okay, well, let's see if our judges have made their decision. I will get the list and I'll be right back with you in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we have the list and all the places and the names of the winners. Let me share my screen and I will be able to show the names. All right, so the winners of this competition, which is sort of Caucasus Group Stage 1 competition, if we can call it that way. And these winners will then go on to take part in the international final round of the competition, which will take place on March 2. Let's see who are the winners. And first place winner is Nare Bakratunan. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Absolutely. Our second place winner is Nani Gogadze. Congratulations. Godadze. I'm sorry, Godadze.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And it does happen from time to time that we have a hard time, picking the best speakers and presenters. So though for this competition, a third place tie, and that place will be shared between two speakers, and those are Albert Arutunov and Elizabeth Verdzadze. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations. Okay, so all four of you guys will be going on to the final round of the International Public Speaking Competition. And of course, there you will be able to meet with other winners from other national stage 1 competition winners. And I guess, yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this time together and you learned more about LCC. And if any of you will decide to apply and study here, we will be more than happy to welcome you and work with your application admissions process. And yeah, thank you, everyone. You did an amazing job, great topics and great speech. And we will see you on March 2nd.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Good job, everyone, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Have a good day.
Congratulations, guys.